Here. All right, we are here with Limey Panda, unfortunately the first person to be knocked out of our Pokemon Showdown event that we have been doing forever since April. It seems like forever, and he has graced us with his presence to give us a few interview questions that I've prepared for him. And first question, and first I will say thank you so much for your participation, and I hope that it was a ton of fun. And congratulations for making it into the finals. I never actually got the opportunity to congratulate you. So,
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for running the tournament. And as I joked before, I prefer to call myself the honorary loser and the fourth best trainer on the Waku so
there,
far. If you disagree with me, fight me.
there you go. That's super fair. Can't argue with that. That is awesome. So again, thank you so much, Panda. So first question is first. Moments ago you finished with your battle against Maxim, and now that it's all said and done, and now that you are, as you say, the honorary loser, the first to be knocked out, how are you feeling after now that you can look back and say the event is all done? How do you feel?
As I briefly touched on, the event was a ton of fun. It was, for me, it was as much about doing the challenge as getting as far as you can. I got to basically do some wacky stuff with a team which is essentially completely gimped, and it was hilarious. I did pretty damn well for myself, if I do say. I did pretty damn well, if I do say so myself, and I probably did better than I deserve. So
Hey, you went
I
in.
argue be salty about the fact. I could be argue and be salty about the fact that a couple crits got me here or a couple statuses got me there, but there are people who could say stuff like that against my matches with them. So Pokemon is a cruel mistress, and RNGesus is a bitch.
Those are all fair points, and again, you definitely had. Well, I would say probably you were most certainly the fan favorite. I'm not gonna lie. Everyone who watched you, because again, you were taking it from a disadvantage, but it was also your dis. It was I can't call it a disadvantage because it was a weird angle. It took a lot of people off guard. But when people saw you coming, they wanted to watch your match. They wanted to see Andre. They wanted to see your Zangoose. It was definitely very interesting. So I'm glad that you enjoyed the event and that you're not feeling too upset about your loss. So that brings us to the next question, talking about your team. What made you decide to use the team that you're using, and why did you think that it would take you all the way?
So, little peek behind the veil, I had no idea I was going all the way. I thought I'd probably get stumped at the fighting gym and have to remake things or something like that. But the ball got rolling, and I sort of I sort of got stuck with it in the end. As for why I chose to do the team, I'm a very sort of I've played a lot of Pokemon. If I wanted to, I could have picked some sort of Smogon approved OU splattered with some Ubers tier team and done probably better than I did. But I got to pick a lot of my favourites and fan favourites and take it into something I also got to basically play by the gym leader's rules. So that was also a lot of fun. And honestly, I generally enjoy things more when you don't take the easy route. It's kind of a modus operandi of mine. So, getting to do something a bit goofy and still do well was my ideal way of doing things. And apparently I did pretty damn well.
Hey,
So I can't complain.
that's absolutely right. That's unarguable. You definitely were one of the first to finish the event, and you took it all the way. And as you said, that's not even as expected. Most people would say, "Yeah, oh, fighting gym, you're done." But that wasn't the case. So that since we're talking about gyms, that brings us to the next question here. So who in all the people you faced before the main event, who would you say your most challenging person that you had to face? And I'll even give you runner up if you would like. But who would you say was the most difficult obstacle you had to jump over in order to get to where you were today?
Um, hmm. I have to give the first place to Opal, who was the Dark Type Elite Four leader, a Dark Type
Yes.
Elite Four user. I got completely stumped by Opal for quite a while. I had to constantly rethink my strategy, and I had to basically lie, cheat, and steal my way into sort of contention. So that was probably the obvious first place. Runner up, it's a pretty close one between yourself and Jinx. who is the bug type leader, and yourself, who is the champion. As we sort of briefly alluded to, a mono normal type team doesn't do great against fighting types like a Mega Blaziken.
Yes, Mega Blaziken, Lucario, those are definitely a couple of my hard hitters that people had to deal with in this
Yeah.
event, and they definitely gave you a big run for your money.
Yeah, so there was the obvious one. Jinx. Jinx was great. Jinx did a lot of what you'd want from a first position gym leader. Challenged a lot of people. Did some unorthodox strategies. I had the great disadvantage of being one of the first people to challenge Jinx. So I didn't have any information going in, so I had to sort of do a couple runs, go, oh, you do that, oh, you do that, okay, I've got to read this and this, because when you are tackling what is essentially a souped up version of a gym challenge, you've got to sort of adapt to a metagame which is completely different to what is standard to playing Pokemon. So you've got to sort of learn on the fly and think, okay, I played against this, but I haven't played against this. What are they going to do for this? It's an interesting and unique challenge, which is half the fun of the first half of the event.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Jinx was definitely one of the people who had not only one of the harder jobs, one of the more important jobs, because when I designed the gym leaders, I wanted to make sure that whoever was the first person had a lot of game knowledge and was going to be that person to kind of weed out the competition. Those who couldn't beat Jinx were probably going to have to do something on their team to progress through the entire event, and I think that he did great at that. So yeah, I'm glad that you recognized Jinx, and Opal definitely is fantastic. I think all of our participants were very, very good who participated in the gym and Elite Four. Definitely there were some differences in skill level, but we definitely wanted that when we were looking at it. So moving on to the next question now, since we're talking about the event still, if you could change one thing about the first part of the event, the gym leaders and the Elite Four and the champion, if you could change one thing about that, what would it be?
Can I only pick one?
Well,
Oh,
okay, let's go with the most important one, and then what is a
all
couple
right.
other points? Let's keep it brief.
So the most important one is definitely unbanning Mega Kangaskhan. I think it's legitimately unfair that I don't. I mean, what? Who?
I think that is a bit of a unhonest answer, but we'll
It
we'll
is
we'll take.
completely unhonest. But okay. Most important. Most important. Um, I think the way you maximize the event's sort of fun and longevity is you probably have to remove replays from the public eye.
Mhm.
I think it makes the gym leader's already difficult job even harder, and it makes it a lot easier for people coming later to sort of scout out information and go, oh, okay, they're using that and it has that move set. And after a while, with enough information out there, you can just literally make a spreadsheet of what they've got and go, okay, I now know what you're running. Neat. I
Sure.
think removing that information, it not only makes it a bit more. It increases the percentage of gym leaders, doing well and having a bit more fun because they're not just going to get shit stomped once. But it also increases the sort of challenge rating, and I think that's just generally a good thing to sort of strive for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. That is definitely something that I have thought about personally myself, and something that I think I now know going forward how we're going to alter it and make it better. Basically, just have a place where replays can be evaluated by the people who only need to see them. The people who are part of the event don't need all that information, and I think that is a good call. So, and what are if you go ahead? What are a couple of other little things that you think now that you have the most important one out of the way?
I think extending the rosters for both players and gym leaders would be an interesting aspect, and I would say gym leaders to sort of make it so that they're still disadvantaged because they're still got the disadvantage of being monotype, but you still want them to have a bit more of a disadvantage. So I'd say you want them to have some signature Pokemon as well. So in an ideal world, let's go with Glass Trinity, the fighting gym leader. Let's say they have a roster of 8 to 9 Pokemon. Still going to have a team of 6, and they have 3 signature Pokemon. So you can have 8 big Pokemon, and then you've got to have, like, I don't know, Trinity's Pangoro, Trinity's Machamp, and Trinity's Mega Lucario.
Sure,
something
yeah.
like that.
That was definitely something that was considered, and going forward, I think that that might add enough variety for both players and gym leaders to keep things a little bit more of a disadvantage. Because then what happens also is they'll face against these gym leaders over and over, and even if one player is trying to scout information and people are talking with one another, they might not get all the information because some Pokemon are hidden. They haven't seen everything yet. So I think that would also, you're
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
make things more longevity wise and give a little bit more of an advantage to the gym leader. All right, so the next question I have for you is, when you made it to the finals, did only having 4 people in the main event take away? Because again, this was such a long process. We started this in April, and here we are in October, finally finishing up. We're in the semifinals now, and there was only so many people that made it, and that might attest to it being a challenging event. That also attests to people having wonky time schedules and making it difficult for others to play. But at the end of the day, would you say, from your player perspective, did only having 4 people in an event take away from the finals for you?
Um, that's a very difficult question because you can argue till the cows go home that having more people might have made the event more fun or made the event real, more reflective of skill level, or you could argue that it's fine as it is. Really glad the event's not going on any longer because we're waiting for more people. I think you can wait for 8 people to take the challenge, but if the hype dies down and you're just sitting there with 3 people going, "Is this ever going to finish?" It kind of drags its feet, which is
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
not fun for the people waiting. I think as for the question itself, whether it took away from the event, I don't think so. I think the main part of the event, for me at least, was always challenging the gym leaders in the Elite Four.
Cool. Cool.
I think this tournament after it's a nice treat at the end.
This is the icing on
I've
the
lost.
cake. It's
That's
it's
fine.
it's not the
Yeah,
cake
the
itself.
main cake. The main cake for me was the gym leader challenge, the Elite Four challenge, and the champion challenge. Honestly, the way I would probably do it in the future is perhaps have the champion rotate with the person who's winning.
Oh, that would be an
But
interesting idea.
I don't want to steal a role from you or anything because you're still you're the progenitor of this event. But that's how I would do it in my sort of, if I was going to go. If someone went to me, "Hey, take over this event and do it your way," I'll go, "Okay, I guess I'll do this."
Sure.
I
Well,
think that sort of it makes the event more organic, and it also stops there being a big sort of clump at the end.
no, absolutely, and I definitely think that no matter what, I'm still planning on doing this event again. It's going to take a little bit of time for me to organize the next one, but I will still be doing it.
Of
But
course.
whether or not I'm going to be doing the champion role has yet to be foreseen. I'm still pondering that. I actually almost would very much enjoy doing the role of the first gym leader, but I'm not 100% sure yet what my role to play will be next time. I almost want to like organize it all and then play in it. That's almost kind of where I'm sitting at too. I would love to be a participant, but at the same time, that is probably the least likely thing to happen. But speaking of the next time around, the biggest thing that I'm looking at when we do this event next time is Pokemon Sun and Moon is going to be out. And there's a lot that
That it
can
is. Yeah.
change this showdown event. So the question now I have to you is, if one thing that, now again, Pokemon Sun and Moon is not out for another month, but from what you've seen so far, a lot has been spoiled. What is the one thing that you think is going to have the biggest impact on an event like this from Sun and Moon?
If I had to guess, I'm gonna say it's Z moves, Z moves. I'm already looking at the Z moves. There's a lot of cool ones that have come out. I can't wait for Andre to sit on people and murder them. It's gonna be great.
Yes.
Um, I think we don't know enough information about it yet to make a call on it, but I have the hopes that it will do as much to shake things up as Mega Evolutions did.
Yeah, hopefully, and recently spoiled that Mega Evolutions will still be part of the meta and still be part of the game. So I'm glad that that is a thing. So basically, it's only adding more. Nothing's getting taken away, and it's going to be interesting. So when we plan this next event and Sun and Moon's out, and that's what we have to play with, it will definitely be interesting on how we do some of the rules and such like that. So Couple more questions here. One of the most difficult things about this event, at least for me planning it, and again, a lot of the gym leaders actually and Elite Four members had their 2 cents about this, but one of the most difficult things about this event was the ban and restricted list for both players and gym leaders to play around. If you could change one part of that aspect of it, what would you change? Would you add Pokemon? Would you take away Pokemon? What would you say you would, if as a player, one change you would make that would make it better for the event?
It probably would be bullshit to mention Mega Kangaskhan again, wouldn't it?
It would. Yeah, it would.
Let's. Oh, that's a tough question, honestly. I think that there are certain Pokemon which are a bit too ubiquitous. Pokemon that featured a bit too much, which I would want to see restricted at the very least, maybe
Sure.
even banned.
Sure.
But there are also some Pokemon on the ban list which probably don't deserve to be on there. I like that the event isn't just another OU event. That would be too easy, and there's a bit of extra flavor by removing legendaries, and you've got some nice, cool hard hitters. But
Yes, that was a big
things
part
like
of it for me, flavor-wise, giving somebody an option to do more than just another OU game.
yeah, like having stuff like Mega Blaziken is cool. You can have one of these super hard hitters, and that's fine as long as you've not got a team of them. I think that's fine. Like I know the option to take Aegislash was in there, who is an incredibly powerful Pokemon, but I'm pretty sure no one actually took it. It's fine.
I think one person, of all the players that have played in the event, I think one person picked it up but did not make it to the finals.
But yeah, the point is, like, an Uber does not a team make. Like, my
Correct.
team doesn't feature a single Pokemon even on a restricted list, let alone anything that even comes close to Ubers. I know that some teams do. There was things where Mega Sableyes and Mega Mawwows and Mega Gengars that didn't make it into the finals. I think you can tinker around with the idea of a restricted list featuring more Ubers would be fine. Like, you could probably take Chansey off the restricted list, if not Mega Kangaskhan, because Chansey's strong, but it's not, it won't be ubiquitous because there's so much choice in the restricted list. You can only have one of these super powerful sort of haymaker Pokemon on the list.
Absolutely, and also
At the
one
same
thing
time,
to consider on, from your perspective as a player, that's absolutely true. But we also had to have this list in play for the gym leaders. There are definitely a couple
yeah.
of synergies with Monotype that, if allowed any of the Ubers, you would have some really interesting, interesting things. So, nonetheless, that's kind of the takeaway from that. So I appreciate those 2 cents there. So. Now, the final question I have, this is, with what's left of this final, so what's left of the event, with only 3 people left, who do you think is going to take it all the way? Now, again, just a little recap of all of our players. We have Maxim, who is, just defeated you. He's rocking Rhyperior, Dragonite, Volcarona, Mega Gardevoir, Bisharp, and Starmie. Then we have Ixior, our grand finalist right now, with a little bit of an oddball team with Metagross, Gliscor, Jellicent, Rotom H, Espeon, and Togekiss. And then we have Snoopy with Gliscor, Togekiss, Dragonite, Mega Scizor, the Pokemon who gave you the most trouble, and Alakazam and Azumarill. So, we definitely see 2 teams that are very well-rounded, very solid, and then we have Ixior, who has a couple of oddballs, and again, I think this is taking us a page out of your book, taking things from a different angle. So, of who's left, who do you think has what it takes?
Yeah, you keep asking me these tough questions. I didn't sign up for this. Come on, man. Oh, God. It's difficult because I think all the teams are well-rounded, and by virtue of the game we play, I think everyone could take a game off everyone.
Absolutely.
Like, even me, who struggles supremely against that Mega Scizor, I could technically kill it if the stars aligned. I'm pretty sure that a Fire Punch from Megalopoly would one-shot it if it switched into it and stuff like that, but it's always faster and he's got better switches. So, if the stars aligned, anyone could take a game from anyone.
One thing, just to make that even more clear, make that even better of a point, there has been very few 2-0 sweeps from this event, and it has mostly been everyone has at least taken a game off of somebody. So, that I wholeheartedly agree.
With one notable exception, he says, pulling his collar.
Yeah, yes.
I think going back to something we mentioned earlier, I'm a card game player, and one of the things we look for when we sort of take something competitive is making sure we have something unfair, making
Sure.
sure we have something that attacks from a unique angle. And I think that while it didn't work out for me because I'm working from such a weird angle and also gimping myself, I think that I'm gonna have to go with Ixidor because I think his angle is so unique. He's running some unique choices. He's got some very strong choices as well. Don't get me wrong. He's got the Glycor and he's got the Togekiss, which also features in Snoopy's list, as I recall.
Yes.
Like they're two very powerful, very ubiquitous Pokemon. Things like Dragonite also appeared a lot. Bisharp appeared a lot. Things like that. There are
Yep.
a lot of sort of very powerful, ubiquitous sort of puzzle piece Pokemon. But I think the oddball choices will throw off a lot of the sort of more tried and tested or sort of OU teams that, Snoopy and Maxim, no disrespect to them, of course,
Of course, of
have
course.
brought along.
Well, I mean, Ixidor, just to even push that point even further, Ixidor is the only person who made it through this event that didn't have a Mega Evolution. Even from people in the wild card event, the four runner-ups who fought for that fourth place spot, no, Ixidor is the only person who went without a Mega. So, definitely will be interesting to see. And now he's in the grand finals. He's waiting to see Snoopy or Maxim face him in the very end. So it will be very, very interesting. So, well, with that being said, those are all the questions I have for you, Panda. And, just give you a couple of moments. Just any other thoughts you have about this event, any other things you just want to say before we conclude here.
First of all, I'd like to thank my mom, the academy, and the running shoe company. But on all serious notes, thank you very much for hosting the event. It was a lot of fun. I look forward to participating in it next time, either as a gym leader or as a player.
Yes.
If you do need some more gym leaders, I'm open to the call. I can happily reprise my role.
Of course, of course.
Other than that, I'd say good luck to everyone who's still in the event, and to anyone who's listened to the event who didn't participate. I'd say it's definitely worth your time.
Awesome. Thanks a lot,
It's
Panda.
a lot of fun. It doesn't take a huge amount of time, and you can learn a lot about playing sort of competitive to semi-competitive Pokemon.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the big things I hope that everyone did take away from this, is at least when you walked away from this, you felt like you learned and you were a little bit better Pokemon player than when you first started, and at the end of the day, had a lot of fun. So, again, thank you so much, Panda. I appreciate your time, and let's watch these next matches that are going to happen here soon.
Thank you very much.